episode 107 of Big Red Barrel Geek Speak, your place for all your nerdy needs on BigRedBarrel.com. I'm your host, the badass of Borans, Lauren. Hello, I'm back.
Hello!
Hello! And the ones that are always here is Alex, the Baroness of Butter, and Mersanti Alec.
Foodie butts, but in a nice way. Not in a disgusting way. In a really nice way. Like, tasty. Nom nom.
Tasty butts.
Yep.
Tasty butts. And the jaunty, jubilant juggernaut of Joe.
I'll just say hello.
Hello!
Hello! Welcome back!
It's exquisite to hear you both again. Even
Aww.
though I saw you last week.
Do you know what someone told me during EGX about your fella? They said, oh, we're very surprised to see your fella. We just thought it's gonna be a man in Godzilla costume.
Yeah. That's for the weekends.
So kicking things off, as you may have guessed, we were all at EGX last weekend.
Woo!
And we had some fun shenanigans. How did you guys find it?
Yeah, it was cool. Not a vintage year in terms of what was there, but it was still really, really nice. And I had loads of fun. In fact, I might have had the most fun at this one, I think, of all of them so far. So yeah, really had a really good time.
Same here. I had absolutely fantastic times. Like, it was the busiest one I've ever done, but I felt like the least tired and the most excited, if that makes sense. What about you, Al?
Well, maybe I took away all of your tiredness because I was exhausted this year.
You poor thing.
To be honest, one of it I've done to myself. It was my fault. I can't remember. I think it was a Friday. We decided to stay drinking absolutely by random. They wasn't intended to do that. There was just bottles on the table, and then suddenly the bottles were empty, and we're like, oops, it's 4 a.m. in the morning. And let me just say, did not work out for the rest of the EGX, and I regret some of my life choices.
Oh, bless. We saw a lot of you lovely people out there as well. We saw a lot of our developer friends who you will hear if you go over to BRB UK EGX Special, which was released on the 29th, which is the day we're recording, and check out some of the lovely interviews from people. Is it Coombs at Curve on there?
His developers were for Bomber Crew and Racing Apex, but he himself wasn't. But Rebellion were on there.
Cool.
And Dreams. I mean, go through the whole list. There's just some really awesome people. Some guys from a Left Field collection with some really interesting games as well. So it's really cool.
Yeah, so check that out. But finish listening to us first, obviously. So let's kick off. We're going to try and keep this relatively short. Let's start off with Game of the Show.
Okay, in unison. Wait. 1, 2, 3.
Detroit! Yes! I played that so many times. So, if you were at EGX, you would have known that I wasn't with BRB this year. I was hanging around PlayStation. So every morning I would go in and play Detroit and try and get other endings. How many endings did you guys get?
Well, just the one. I only played it once, but I did see Alex crash and burn on hers, which was great.
To be fair, it was because the demo locked me out of the area without me realizing, which is why I went to play it the second time and actually got the relatively good ending.
Yay!
Did you get up to 99%?
Yes.
Yes.
I got a few different endings. So I got the 0% ending, because I'm a bad human being. I just wanted to see the world burn. That was after I played it a few times first off. I got, I think, the same one as you, Al.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a similar one with some slight differences, because we found out that there was an ending which nobody had gotten.
Oh.
So on the last day, there was about 10 of us just stood around these machines trying to get this ending. No one did. I think one person the entire weekend got it.
The most important question, based on the demo, is did you save the fish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the correct
That's why
answer.
I asked everyone.
Oh, what a game. I mean, this was the one I was looking forward to the most because I'm a huge David Cage fan. Heavy Rain is one of my favourite games of all time. I really enjoyed Beyond Two Souls, even though I know a lot of people didn't. But I was super, super psyched for this game. And I came out of that demo like shaking with anticipation because I enjoyed it so much. I just thought it was incredible. I got so involved with the story almost like immediately. And I want to play it now. I just, yes, I know they need to work on it and finish it, but hurry up because I need it.
Well, it's out 2018. Everyone I was speaking to in the queues, they were like, oh, have you played Detroit? I'm not even on Detroit. And like, have you played Detroit? Like,
yeah.
No. I was like, go play Detroit. Sod my game, go play Detroit, because that's amazing. My game's already out, go away.
Yeah, that was, what a game. Brilliant. I cannot wait for that to come out.
I think it also was one of the smoothest demos that we've played on the night, because it is actually funnier that I had better demos with little indies than with the AAA games that either crashed or were glitchy. And you know what, I can't blame them for that. They're usually builds that, some of them were E3 builds, so they're a couple of months old. Some of them were Ubisoft builds, so you know, that comes with the territory. So it's fine. But it's kind of, it was really nice that it was, you know, it was in 4K, it was gorgeous, it was such a smooth experience. I think they picked a really perfect section of the game to play through, because in that little chunk, I think you get everything you need to know about that game to make your decision. And it's really hard, because I think we've talked a little bit about that on Bigger Barrel UK. But sometimes demos are really not representative of the game for one reason or another. It's just impossible to condense that game in the 15 minutes you have with it. And it's not really the game's fault, it's just the nature of the beast. But with this one, I think this was just like a little perfect experience. You got the story, you got the tension, you got the decisions, you got things you know, secret things you find, other things you didn't find. You get to discuss what choices you made with your friends afterwards. You got multiple endings, which was an incentive to come and replay it as well. So it's just perfect from top to bottom.
Definitely.
I think there was 7 endings in all that I know of. And for a 10-minute demo, I think that's amazing. And considering the game is like so in tune with every single decision you make, it's gonna be absolutely incredible if they pull it off, and you like really feel the repercussions of that. I was talking to one of the guys at PlayStation, and he just kept going on. It's like, it's literally changed the way I've been thinking about stuff, and it's been 10 minutes. Like, it really gets you, and I cannot wait for this.
Yeah, game. It's gonna be incredible, and I can't wait to do the platinum for it either. Like one of the
that's
joys.
gonna make us cry.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing. Like, one of the things I love most about Heavy Rain is when I did the platinum for it on the PS4 remaster version, because it meant I had to play through the game about 3 times.
Yeah,
and you see everything, and I think for a game like Detroit with so many, you know, options and branching storylines, doing it for that is just going to be an absolute pleasure. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. I know we don't actually have a release date for it yet, so who knows when it's actually going to make an appearance, but
it's meant to be sometime in 2018.
Yeah, I think it'll probably end up kind of mid 2018, I reckon, you know, because
Christmas, I reckon seasonal.
Yeah, it could be, although what worries me about that is I think it would get lost in the sea of all the other loud games that come out at Christmas time. I think it deserves to kind of have a little window all to itself, so hopefully it will get pitched at a good time of year for it. But that was definitely the standout in a show where there was actually quite a lot of really good games at the show, so it was awesome.
Did either of you play Fractured But Whole?
No.
Okay, I played it at Insomnia a few weeks earlier. I didn't go to the big Ubisoft thing, and they had this small little corridor, because Insomnia is quite a young fest, so this tiny little over 18 booth, and it had Far Cry 5, which I tried to play, but the demo was glitchy as balls, so I just put the controller down and said, nope, I'll leave that for now. They had the trailer for Assassin's Creed, and they had a Fractured But Whole, and I love it so much. There is a lap dancing minigame where you have to twerk and fart a guy off.
Oh, God. Oh.
The fighting mechanic is so much better as well. You can move a lot more smoothly around the terrain. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Still gutted that it didn't come out on my birthday earlier on this year when it was meant to, but so happy I've waited. It's going to be fantastic.
I'm glad you've actually liked it, because I got a very negative impression of the demo. I've not actually heard anyone come out and say that they liked it. I heard more of them saying, oh, okay, that's fine, but like the previous demo for Stick of Truth wasn't also representative of the game. So it's interesting. I'm glad there's another side of it out there, because I was getting worried a little bit.
Oh no, I absolutely adore Stick Truth. I never played the demo. I completed the game, and I absolutely love it. I played through the demo for this, because I played it using the Nautilus Rift last year, and then, so I've played 2 demos of it now. This one is far superior. Last year was buggy as hell, but you have to go through this nightclub scene. You have to make a rat poop G&T to give to the bartender, and then go into the back and lap dance some information out of some guy's crotch by twerking and farting. And apparently my mate Derek got the information in the fastest time ever.
Oh, wow.
He managed to do it in about 30 seconds.
Oh, dear.
Which is very impressive, because it took me about 5 minutes. But hey, he's got quick fingers. He's a Street Fighter player. It was really, really fun, really representative of South Park and its humour. I haven't actually looked at any of the press for the game because I just want to go into it blind because I love the characters, I love the franchise, and I don't want to be sullied by people's negative opinion of it, of something that they don't understand.
That's fair enough.
Dick and fart jokes everywhere.
That's fair enough, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't even fussed about trying it, but I've not played the Stick of Truth, to be honest. People say I should, but to be honest, I'm kind of done with South Park. I don't know whether I'm just getting old or something, but it kind of, I still think sometimes it's incredibly culturally relevant and funny and really quite brave and clever. But I don't really feel the need to kind of engage with South Park anymore. I used to love it, when it first started. I thought it was great. But yeah, I'm hoping this is good because I know a lot of people will enjoy it. But yeah, it didn't have a look at that. But if we're talking about crappy demos, we have to obviously mention Assassin's Creed Origins, which is possibly one of the worst demos I've ever played at a show.
Oh, was it terrible? They didn't even have it in Sony. They had a trailer.
It sucked so bad. It sucked so bad. You can kind of, it was an older demo, it was an alpha demo, which, considering the game is out in like a month, seemed a bit peculiar. So it was obviously just something like, oh, we'll just give them that demo again, let's not bother. They're probably completely crunching trying to get the actual game finished, that they didn't have time to put an actual, a more recent demo together. But it was glitchy, buggy, it was pretty ugly looking for a game that they're selling on how beautiful it looks. I had so many weird glitches happen. Like at one point I made a guy float in midair and all sorts of weirdness. And to be honest, it was just super dull. And considering the vibrancy and the intrigue that there is available to them when you look at the setting, like, Egypt and ancient Egypt is just fascinating. It was just really boring. So it doesn't bode well for the full game to me. I'm kind of definitely feeling quite lukewarm on it now. But yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I did a preview for biggerbell.com, so you can see what I said there, which is not very much different from what Joe is actually saying as well. I just think it's one of those games that does not demo very well. It never did.
Yeah.
I played the demo of Syndicate, and I thought it was the glitchiest, buggiest, the most boring mess of a game that I've ever played at the time. And yet Syndicate wasn't that. Syndicate was actually pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
And even though there were bugs, I didn't actually get that many of them. I kind of tend to be luckier in the bug department because whenever everyone finds a game that does not, gel very well, like Assassin's Creed or Mass Effect Andromeda, and they post all about their bug experience, I'm like, I seem to be getting half of that. So, fingers crossed, I get quite lucky with this kind of stuff. I just don't think it's representative. I'm still interested in getting Origins. I've not had Assassin's Creed for a year. I kind of miss it. I think it'll be a nice chilled game for me, and, I can get back on my grow my Assassin's Creed legs or whatever is the expression is for when you're remembering what to do, what you've done before. So I'm quite looking forward to that, but yeah, that demo was not good.
I mean, I did at one point have a hippo try to kill me, which was a bit unique. And that was kind of fun. So yeah, I'm kind of sort of imagining the worst but hoping for the best at the same time, because I'm like you, I've played most of the other Assassin's Creed games and really enjoyed them. So I'm going to wait for reviews and see how this one kind of looks when it's actually out in the wild. And hopefully it'll be a lot better than the demo.
But you see, another funny thing, apparently it previewed very, very well, because after I read my preview, I kind of checked around on what everyone else was saying, and everyone else was raving about what that Assassin's Creed... I don't know if they had specifically... I mean, some of them had that specific demo, but some of them were just, singing praises to Origins. And I wasn't entirely sure where that was coming from.
Yeah.
And the only reason I thought I wasn't completely insane about Assassin's Creed is because I talked to you guys after we left that demo and we were all on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, my demo, and, my fella was playing it right next to me and I was looking at his screen. He managed to kill his horse, which I thought was quite impressive. But,
oh, bless.
Both our screens, I could see visible glitches and texture popping like crazy and weirdness, and it was buggy as hell, so... Maybe people just kind of ignore that a little bit because it's what they expect from an Ubisoft demo or something. I don't know, but
everyone's so jaded now. They're expecting bugs. Yeah. It's just like,
it's just Ubisoft. It's fine.
Was there any hidden gems that you found?
I do want to mention a game called Octahendron, which was a little indie game. It's like a platformer type thing, kind of has an awesome electro type soundtrack, and you essentially make your own platforms, and it's like vertical ascending platforming. It's so clever, and that one... it was at EGX last year, I think. I didn't get to play it last year, but since then it's been picked up by Square Enix's indie group. I think it's called the Square Enix Collective or something, and now it's going to get a release through them, and it's so good. It's I'm not a huge platform fan anyway, but even I was like, oh my god, this game's amazing. It plays so well, it's so sharp, the soundtrack is so exciting and fun. That's definitely one to look out for from like the smaller hidden gems. And there was one other thing I just wanted to mention as well, was a game called Purrfect Date. Perfect as in a purr that a cat does.
Yeah. Oh, the cat one.
This is the this is the cat dating sim. It's essentially it's a visual novel really with cat dating in it. And it was so fun and sweet and cute. And if you kind of, like a nice dating sim like Dream Daddy or Hatoful Boyfriend, then this is definitely one to keep an eye on, for sure.
Cool. Alex, anything from you?
Well, I'm not sure if this is so much as an indie, and I have again spoken about it in BRBK, so I'm just going to give quick shout-outs to a couple of games, and I think they'll be pretty explanatory. So, Hidden Agenda by Supermassive Games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw you playing this, yeah.
Which is coming out really soon, I think October sometime.
Yeah, that is using the PlayStation PlayLink technology, so all you have to do is download an app on your phone.
That's
and
super
play,
cool.
4 to 6 players. Kind of in a similar vibe to Jackbox games, but instead of using browser, you use an app.
You can play with less people, right?
Yeah, you can play from 1 to 6, I think.
Yeah, that's cool, because my fella and I were kind of thinking, oh, that would be something quite good to play together, like at home and stuff. So yeah, that looked awesome.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Theater VR was just something very different. They put the Hamlet play in VR, and you can take on any role of any of the actors, and I think that's just such a genius idea to get people interested into Shakespeare and make Shakespeare fun.
Yeah, nice.
Then I really liked Bomber Crew.
Oh, Bomber Crew was cute, yeah. That was fun.
It is not the type of game I usually play, but it was one of the most enjoyable demos for me at EGX. I had a lot of fun with that. I thought that was really cool. Strange Brigade.
Oh, yeah, I was hoping someone would say Strange Brigade. Yeah, that game's great.
Yeah, that game is a lot of fun.
And the stand was beautiful. It's such a cool stand.
I spoke to Sean, and I said to him, dude, your stand is the best one here. And he was like, is it a bit of overkill? Like, is it a bit much? I was like, no, it's totally
You stand
fine.
out.
It's
That's
beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah, it's a great stand.
And also Forgotten Anne, which was there last year as well. I think they announced the game at last year's EGX, but it is beautiful hand-drawn 2D platformer, absolutely gorgeous, looks amazing. You guys know I don't like platformers, but this one has enough of the story, a really interesting universe about forgotten things, and their demo this year was a little bit bigger than they had it last year, so it was like a whole mechanic where Anne gets wings and can kind of fly while platforming. It just looks so amazing, and it has gone a long way, and it's going to be a really fantastic little game, and it's also part of the Square Enix collective as well.
Cool.
Fantastic. I didn't play too many indies because I've just started an indie showcase that's going to be at Loading Bar called Indies Unplayed, and
Woohoo!
A bunch of them sent them to me, and I played them all on Monday. And if you're interested in coming along, it is the 29th of October in Secret Weapon Loading Bar, so that's the weekend of MCM London. And just as a little heads up, Bomber Crew will be there.
Cool.
So
Nice.
if you want to check out that game from Curve Digital and very many other games, the tickets will be launched next week. They're free, it's just to see who's coming, really. And just check it out. Plug. Right, so shall we move on to the news? Alright, so kicking off with the Dune Reboot. So you guys seen the original movie?
Of course.
One of the variety of cuts, read the original book and so on and so forth. You might have seen elements of it at Beyond the Unknown.
You mean the exhibition at Barbican?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. So it's been filmed before with David Lynch, and there was a whole hoo-ha about it. It had Kyle MacLachlan in it, had Sting, to name a few people. And there's an Alan Smithy cut, there's a David Lynch cut, there's Bob down the road, Kat.
You know who Alan Smithy is, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Just double checking.
We did an episode on Alan Smithy.
Yeah, we had one of our previous episodes is actually named Alan Smithy.
Excellent.
So it was like in our youth of the podcast, we just like went through the list of Alan Smithies.
Because there's a new name now for films.
Oh.
Yeah, they retired Alan Smithy.
Yeah,
They got too many. Yeah, but they haven't announced it yet, have they?
It was a while ago. I just can't remember what it is now.
It's not well known yet.
No.
Yeah, so Arrival and Sicario filmmaker Denis Villeneuve is meant to be directing it. Eric, I almost read that as Eli Roth. Eric Roth to write it, and it's meant to be produced by Villeneuve, Mary Pan, and Calais Bouteur. Is that how you spell it?
No idea. I mean, the interesting part about the producers, I think, is that Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson are in the mix.
Yeah.
Brian Herbert, obviously a son of Frank Herbert, who originally wrote Dune. But following that, Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson actually wrote a series of Dune books together, which is really funny to me because when I started reading them, I was at a young age. I wasn't aware of what they were and how much cultural significance and how much for sci-fi these books have done. I just went to a bookshop and saw a whole lot of them on the bookshelf, and I was like, well, this is a big series. This looks interesting.
I need to read these.
Yeah. So the first ones I actually picked up were by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson, so I wrote their first trilogy that they did. And only then I was like, wait, they're just like doing something for Frank Herbert. So those were the original, and then I had to go back and read the original Dune and the original series of books. So I had a really bizarre experience with this material.
I mean, for me, looking at this, the potential for this reboot is quite interesting for sure. Like, I'm a big fan of the David Lynch original, to be honest. I know it was very much maligned at the time, but it's become a little bit of a cult classic, and I'm quite fond of it. But the best thing for me about this is the director. Obviously, Denis Villeneuve is super, super hot coming off the back of Blade Runner 2049, which is apparently incredible.
I'm seeing it next Thursday!
I'm seeing it on Friday. I'm so excited! I'm so excited! But yeah, so this, if it happens, I think it will be in very safe hands, especially if he gets Roger Deakins as cinematographer again. Yes, very good.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising because everyone raved about Arrival, and it was okay. I've not loved it.
I love Arrival.
But I really like Sicario, actually. I've really enjoyed that.
Sicario's great. Yeah, so good.
Okay, next thing I am super excited about, because I love the comic book. I actually love the movie. Watchmen TV series is coming from Damon Lindelof. Or Lindelof? How do you say his name?
Lindelof.
He's being given the green light for a HBO TV pilot with additional scripts being added, so we're going to at least get a pilot out of this. We have no real news about it so far. It could run multiple seasons, which it bloody should, because it's a huge book, and you need to go into everything, like The Island, and the comic book, and the Black Freighter, and the dude that reads comic by the newsstand, and all that shiz. So that would be amazing. Collider.com had previously reported that Zack Snyder had a meeting with HBO regarding possible series, but they fell through.
Good.
Thank the Lord.
I cannot bear Zack Snyder. He needs to go away.
To be honest, Watchmen is the only Zack Snyder film I actually do like.
I like Sucker Punch as an aesthetic kind of piece.
I can't bear it.
I think it looks awesome.
Oh.
It looks absolutely awesome. It's fun to watch. It's absolutely mindless. And Oscar Isaac is hot and kind of scary in it.
Yep. I can kind of get behind all of that.
Yes. And there's an amazing version of Love is a Drug, sung by him and Carly Wingo.
I have a lot of issues with Sucker Punch, basically how horrifically misogynist it is.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm a misogynist down against, and I kind of like watch it.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. The Watchmen film was definitely one of the best things Snyder has done. It almost is better without him, if that makes sense. So I think this could be quite interesting. I think, like you say, the graphic novel, definitely there's scope for quite an in-depth series. The crucial thing here is going to be casting, because I thought that the casting for the movie was pretty bang on.
Yeah, I love Silk Spectre. 1, not 2 so much, but 1.
I just think the comedian they got absolutely right.
You know what? I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and he was a scene stealer pretty much in the whenever he came out on screen in Watchmen, he was stealing the scene absolutely. Definitely. But I also really like Matthew Good, who was playing Ozymandias.
Yeah.
I thought that was also spot on.
They were all fantastic, to be honest.
But yeah, this could be really cool. And Damon Lindelof, even though he has pissed me off in the past, I actually think he could do a really good job with this. So
he's learned his lesson.
He has learned his lesson. He will no longer displease me.
He will no longer lost these things.
I mean, he redeemed himself a lot with the second season of Leftovers that I'm yet to fully catch up on.
I still need to watch that.
Oh, it's really good.
So good. So good.
So I do have now a lot more faith in him and him taking on the project, and I honestly think TV series is the way to go rather than a movie, because I thought Watchmen, even though they cut away at a lot of stuff in the movie, it was pretty long. So it sounds promising, and another thing to mention, of course, is that it's backed by HBO, and HBO is a kind of, a
powerhouse right now.
Yeah, it's kind of a gold standard. They do good stuff, and have you seen? It's actually not on the news agenda, but they've revealed the budget for the last season of Game of Thrones, and they're gonna get
huge.
Yeah, it's 15 million per episode.
I didn't realize it was that much. I knew it was gonna be huge,
Lord.
but oh my god,
yeah,
they're not messing around.
Be dragging. Oh, you know why it's so much?
Is that spoilery?
No, it's gonna be a joke.
Oh right, okay, sorry.
So they can put Ghost in the episode.
Oh yes! Finally, maybe he's alive.
Yeah. So many moons ago, they were thinking about doing a Watchmen with Terry Gilliam. But that was before the movie came out. And he said he would do it if it was a TV show. So it's it's coming full circle, but no Terry Gilliam, because that would be mental.
It would be mental. I'm not sure he's the best fit for Watchmen. If I'm honest. And I adore Terry Gilliam. He's one of my all-time favourite filmmakers. I met him once, and he's an absolute gent. He's such a nice guy. He's so lovely. He shook my hand and everything. I touched Terry Gilliam.
And you never wash that hand again.
Yeah, I know. It's I haven't washed it for 15 years or whatever it was that I met him. But, he's not right for Watchmen. Definitely not.
No,
and he needs to kind of be let loose to do his own thing. So yeah, this seems like a better result.
Okay, something that's going to be absolutely epic. Well, I really, really hope it's absolutely epic. And about damn time, Linda Hamilton is returning to the Terminator franchise.
Woohoo!
Yeah, she might be able to save it.
Emilia Clarke, she did her best.
Oh, it was that film. Oh my god!
But the film itself was absolutely shocking. She did her best for what she had. But Linda Hamilton, tour de force, absolutely fantastic. So James Cameron is committed to bringing back the Terminator franchise, and with Schwarzenegger aboard, he's trying to get Linda Hamilton back in the similar vein to the old aged kind of butt-kicking super spies, your Liam Neeson, if you will. They're trying to get a butt-kicking woman. It's but I was just thinking, have you guys seen Red?
Yes.
Yeah, with Helen Mirren.
Yeah, she kicked ass.
Yeah, she's amazing. I actually really like Red. It's really poppy,
it's
silly,
really good fun
action, but it's really... It's good. Plus it has Brucey. Who doesn't love Brucey?
Oh no, so Brucey. John Malkovich.
Yeah, I'm with you,
John
Malkovich all day, every day. With this Linda Hamilton thing, which is undeniably awesome, because she's a legend, and if anyone can save the Terminator franchise, it's her. And you would argue that when she left, that's when the franchise kind of died in terms of quality. She's like the heart of it, kind of thing. But do you wonder if maybe he's kind of doing this to kind of make up for the silly things he said about Wonder Woman?
Did he say silly things about Wonder Woman?
He kind of dissed it a little bit and kind of said that she's not a good female role model, and that she's not, it's good that it was all successful and stuff, but that it shouldn't be applauded as female-led superheroes being a good thing, or stuff like that. Basically, he was a bit dismissive of it. And it seems like this is sort of a little bit convenient. They're like, look, it's fine, I'm down with the women, I love women.
I'm down with the vaginas, yay!
I mean, one thing that he did say that I think was really nice, it was the part where you get 50, 60-year-old men who kick ass, but not as many women. And that's why it's good to have Linda Hamilton back. I do not appreciate the stuff he said about Wonder Woman, but...
Maybe he's trying to prove a point about Wonder Woman.
Maybe.
It's
Maybe,
like, this is
yeah.
what it should be. Maybe.
And I'm well on board for seeing Linda Hamilton back. I think that'd be amazing. And he's absolutely right in that we need more older women. Like, how many times do we have to watch bloody Tom Cruise in an action film with some 20-something girl as his love interest?
And he's wearing lifts as well. They're magically shorter than him.
What's his latest one as well? Wasn't it The Mummy that we had this thing? And then he has another movie that it's about a pilot. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name.
The cocaine thing.
Yeah, I pretty much ignore everything with Tom Cruise in the name, as long as it's not killing my mummy. But, and there was another, like, really young, preppy blonde girl next to him, I think.
Yeah, she's, like, in her mid-20s or something, and he's, like, in his 50s. I'm sorry, but no.
It's just creepy at this point, Hollywood. It's just a little bit creepy.
It's just gross, is what it is. I mean, it's been going on for years. Like, there's so many examples of it where you have an older male action star, and, they couldn't dream of putting a woman in it who's his actual age. Oh, no, it needs to be some young, hot thing. So that's ridiculous. So this is great, and hopefully with Wonder Woman being a success and stuff like Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron.
Yep.
I mean, she's still, young, but she's not super young, and she was great in that film. And hopefully stuff like this will get more and more quality action movies with women.
Okay. It's helmed by Tim Miller. He's going to be directing it. The Tim Miller of Deadpool fame, so it should be aesthetically pleasing at least, because I love Deadpool. And we got the writers' room, should have David Goyer and Josh Friedman in it, so the story details are being closely guarded at the minute, but it's meant to be a direct sequel to Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Fingers crossed. Retcon all the rest of it. Get rid of it. We don't need evil robot John Connor.
I just wish Cameron would direct it and stop faffing about with Avatar and just stop it. Just come back and make Terminator, please.
Yeah, it's just exactly at this point. Does anyone actually care about Avatar?
No, nobody cares but him.
Can I just, listeners, please write in if you care about Avatar, because I really want to find someone who does.
I mean, I really like the first movie. It's silly.
Really?
Yeah, it's Fern Gully, which is great, but it's silly, but I still really like it, and it's got some really cool bits, and it was undeniably groundbreaking in terms of its visuals and stuff. But it was a long time ago now, really, and I feel like the goodwill and anticipation for any Avatar sequels is long gone.
Well, they built the Avatar land in Disney, so it's only for bucks now, really.
Yeah.
Moving on to something a bit more interesting. A Resident Evil 2 board game is coming from the creators of Dark Souls. When I read that, I thought it was Evil Dead, and I got really excited, but this still sounds fun. Steamforged Games, the company behind the very successful board game adaptation of Dark Souls, has launched another Kickstarter campaign for an official board game based on Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
They were very successful. They were successfully funded within an hour. They've currently raised $403,652, and they've proven to follow through with their campaign in a reasonable time frame, which is unusual for Kickstarter and very refreshing.
Steamforged are pretty reliable, though. They've been doing this for a while, and they're pretty good.
See, Joe, I don't know exactly why you're making the sounds, but I can tell you why I'm making the sounds.
I want it so bad.
Oh, because you want it. I'm making it for the other reason, because what I think Steamforged did, they figure out the magical formula. They figure out that if they do a famous property, if they do a game with fancy minis, and if they do a game kind of about survival. If you look, I've not actually read through, the rules of Resident Evil 2 are not available yet. It looks very similar to Dark Souls. It looks like they're
fine.
like, it's fine, we got one formula, it was successful, let's go with another one. We're just like, grab the cash, grab the cash, grab the cash.
Yeah, and if I had any money, I'd be throwing it at them right now.
Well, people seem to like it. And it's only their second game. They're not going to really divert from the formula. I've not played Dark Souls, but I'm reading through what's on the screen. It seems to be a cooperative experience that includes an optional single-player mode. It allows up to 4 players to venture into Resident Evil 2 police station and to battle with the undead hordes and mutants that populate the city. So is that really similar to Dark Souls?
In a way, like, they have boss monsters that remind me a little bit of Dark Souls boss monsters. I don't know, look, the thing is, Kickstarter is littered with a lot of board games with really fancy minis. And I don't have anything against them in principle, but I just think it's what people are becoming to expect of some of the very highly backed games. And to me, that pushes away some smaller creators that maybe don't have the budget to make their little minis, or they have some different weird little quirky games that are not as visually dominating, or they do not follow this exact formula that the Dark Souls and Resident Evil are following, which I'm fine with it. As long as people are enjoying these games, I'm absolutely okay with that. That's all good. What I am worried is that if that kind of becomes more of a thing that everyone's doing, and there seems to be a lot more of this kind of games going further, they're pushing out all the really interesting quirky projects that used to be on Kickstarter, but now they're just like, they don't tick the boxes for people, so they kind of go away. And I already know of some designers who are like, well, my game is not going to do very well because it's missing this, this, and this. It's still a really great game, but it's not going to get any Kickstarter attention, and Steamforge obviously do. And again, it's great for them. I'm happy that it's working for them, and, Joe liked Dark Souls, and a lot of other people that like Dark Souls. For me, I'm just getting a little bit worried.
I guess it's just a trend, isn't it, at the moment? It's just, it's a popular trend, and all these things are kind of cyclical. And to be fair, like, there's still some smaller Kickstarter games that do manage to kind of make the press, but like you say, I think it's much harder for them to do so. I think this will calm down with time. I think people will kind of be like, yeah, that's cool. Give us something new. People always want something new. So, Resident Evil 2 will do very well. People will buy it, and it'll probably be really cool, and people will enjoy it. But after that, maybe people will be ready for something new. And I think there's always going to be room for the smaller, more interesting games. They just, like you say, need to fight a bit harder to sort of get recognised at the moment. But I think that will change. It will evolve with time, like these things do.
I mean, look, I can't judge. There's a huge Conan board game in my living room which follows exactly this formula that we've described, so I'm obviously subscribing to it as well.
Also, if it's exactly kind of the same formula as Dark Souls, people will mention it, and it will be noticed before they do another Kickstarter or release another game. So it won't, fingers crossed, it won't be a common theme. Okay, moving on. Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire, very massively multiplayer online role-playing game expansion recently released. This was requested by Frozen454. Got a link to the trailer, which will be down in the show notes. It contains mounts, elites, specializations for classics, continued stories, new region, 5 open world maps. I know nothing about this.
Me neither.
Yeah, I'm not sure if, I remember a while back we also tried to talk about Guild Wars. I'm not sure it was requested by Frozen or by someone else. Like, I've looked through a trailer, that games look awesome. I'm just not sure I have power to play MMORPGs anymore.
Yeah, is this the one that I've seen where one of the mounts that's being introduced is like a kangaroo? I think someone put it in one of the game chat groups, and they were like, "Oh my god, look at this!" And it's like a kangaroo thing.
I'm not gonna lie to you because I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember.
What we're saying, Frozen, is that we're rubbish at this news.
Yeah, basically none of us know anything about this game, so sorry.
But PSA, if you're playing Guild of Wars, they have a new expansion. Go check it out. Apparently, some of our listeners play it and enjoy it, so that's great.
Yeah.
Let us know what it is, what it's about, and why you enjoy it. Okay, and we have a public service announcement, I'm guessing from Alex.
Yeah.
Check out the Death of Stalin trailer.
Look, I'm scared to recommend this movie because I don't know if it's actually going to be good because it's not out yet and I haven't seen it. But God, if you don't...
looking at the cast...
Look at the cast. Look, Steve Buscemi.
Oh, I love
Jason
him.
Isaacs, of
Michael
course.
Palin! Sorry.
Jason Isaacs.
Yep. Rupert Friend. I mean, it's
Paddy
amazing.
Considine.
Yes!
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I'm on board.
Just look at the trailer. I think it's gonna be really, really funny. And I think it's gonna be really, really good. So don't immediately go and book tickets in the cinema just because I'm saying that. But I just wanted to make people be aware. It's out there. I feel this movie deserves some attention. Might.
Yeah.
Just looking at the cast, I'm ready to go. Because that sounds amazing.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. It's a good cast.
I mean, I'm just interested to see anyone play Beria, to be honest. At that monster in the comic setting, I'm all up for it there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to take you with me so I can go, who's that? Who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that, baby? Who's that? Because I know nothing about Russia, to be honest, sorry. Except for pierogi.
Yeah, that's probably the better part of it, to be honest.
Yeah. And vodka.
Okay, that's not the good part of it.
Nuclear vessels. Okay. So that is the news for this week, and we're going on to topics. So, Joe, what have you been playing?
Yeah, so it's relatively old now, but the sequel is coming out.
It's relevant, yeah. I went to game today, stupidly. Completely forgot that it's FIFA Day.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the queue for 20 minutes because I had to, because I needed tech. And it's just like, dude, it's like, why am I here? It's like, is there a separate queue for normal people? No, there's not. I have to stay in the FIFA queue.
I'm afraid so. It is the sufferance of this time of year. Yeah, so I've been playing The Evil Within, which I have owned since it came out, and have been meaning to play all this time, but never kind of got round to it. And so with the sequel coming out later this month, in fact, I think it's out in a couple of weeks or something, it's not long at all, I thought, yeah, I probably should play it now. I'm near the end. I think there's like 14 chapters or something, and I think I'm on chapter 11. It's very good. It's, if people aren't aware, it's from Shinji Mikami, who was the creator of Resident Evil. This bears a lot of the hallmarks of that great hallowed series, but with a few postmodern twists thrown in. It's really quite clever in some of the things it's done. It annoys me at times as well. Some of the boss battle type sequences are needlessly complicated in terms of you have to do a particular thing in a particular order to unlock something, and it's quite hard sometimes in the panic that's, because everything's trying to kill you. It's quite hard in the panic to see exactly where you need to go and what you need to do, so that's a little bit irritating, and that kind of takes you out of it a little bit. But other than that, it's a really cool game. It's got a great horror aesthetic. It's very creepy. It's quite tough, and I like it a lot. So if you're kind of looking at the sequel thinking, oh yeah, then it's worth checking out the original game first. Definitely.
Cool. Well, it's not the game I'm ever gonna play.
I think it's a cookies and booze one.
Oh, yeah, it should be.
Don't tell Julia.
Hey, you made it through Alien Isolation and Resident Evil 7. You'll be fine.
You can do this.
I really liked both of them, actually.
To me, it has a few good creepy moments and some jump scares and stuff, but it's not like super scary. It's more gross. It's like got some pretty gruesome bits and stuff like that. It's sort of, it's got some things that are kind of like Saw in it and stuff. So it's not super scary. I think Resident Evil 7 is much scarier than this, for sure. But it's still, it's a good action horror game for sure. It's quite clever. I like it a lot. So yeah, I'll be finishing that soon. I won't pick up the sequel straight away because I'm trying not to buy any new games for a while because I have so many to play already.
Shame.
It's a good game. If you like your horror action games, definitely check it.
Alex, what have you been watching?
So, this is not a new movie. It is Chef. I'm shouting out because it's on Netflix, and it is one of the most pleasant, nice, relaxing filming experiences you can actually ever have. It is a little kind of baby of Jon Favreau. He's a little passion project that he did, and he plays, obviously, the chef. But among that, Robert Downey Jr. make appearances, Sofia Vergara, Scarlett Johansson. In the essence, it is a movie about a relationship of dad with his son and how they kind of unite through driving this food truck around America and just cooking some really, really nice food. MJ Anthony plays the kid Percy, and he's so good. He's absolutely fantastic as the kid, just really good child acting. But yeah, nothing more to say about that. Don't really want to spoil the story. It's not a huge story. There aren't any crazy plot twists or discoveries, or you find out
Alex, you love plot twists.
Oh, don't you start. You don't find out that Percy's suddenly not, the son. He's the son from some other planet.
Vampires.
Yeah, they're all vampires, and then suddenly Sofia Vergara is a lycan. No, this is not happening in this movie. It's super chill. It's super nice. It's just a really lovely experience if you want to curl up on the sofa and watch a really uplifting, just genuinely pleasant movie. Yeah. This is it.
It's one of those nice, feel-good films. If you're feeling a bit grumpy and you just want a nice feel-good film like this. And also, have you guys seen We Bought a Zoo?
No.
With Matt Damon and Scarlett Johansson in it. And he buys a zoo, basically, like plot a small rundown zoo.
You don't say.
Plot twist.
I know, what? But that's a lovely film as well, and similar kind of thing, sort of uplifting, feel-good, sort of you can do anything type film. So, yeah, I love Chef too. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I keep meaning to. But I'm not one really for feel-good, uplifting films. I prefer, when I'm in a funk, I prefer violence. Hence, nice. My movie I saw this week is Kingsman Golden Circle.
I'm going to stay really quiet.
Why?
I am not happy with this film.
Oh.
Have you seen it though, Joe?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to give it any of my money.
Why are you unhappy?
It's made me mad. Well, So I had a real problem with the ending of the first
with the butt
film.
sex.
Oh, it bothered me so much. And I thought, like, up until that point, the first film was awesome. Like, really good action, it was really good fun. And then I just thought, nah, they've just ruined it at the end with that.
So what about that really?
I just thought it was misogynist and unnecessary and just a bit grim. And I understand that it's a parody satire of James Bond films, but I just thought that was too much. It was too on the nose and a little bit...
That actually pays dividends in this movie. But
yeah, no.
No, in a nice way.
But isn't there I can't talk about it too much because kids might be listening, but isn't there a bit in this film
Kids? What kids?
Like, I Bleezy might be listening.
Okay,
Alright.
that's fair enough. Let's keep it PG.
Like, I heard, quite a few columnists and people having a lot of problems with this film, and it's why I'm not going to go see it.
There is a scene which did make me feel uncomfortable, but like the rationale behind it, well, the rationale for him doing something is stupid, but Eggsy's actions, like leading up to it, is actually incredibly considerate in some ways.
I guess I kind of like, I was massively put off, by everything reading about this, because I just thought, no, you know what, I don't want to support a film like that. But also, a lot of eminent like film critics that I really admire and respect their opinion have kind of been on the same wavelength. And Mark Kermode, who I usually agree with him a lot, not all the time, like he doesn't like Alien Covenant, whereas I do a lot, but he was kind of the same opinion, that it's crass and a bit naff and like sort of that silly gross out sort of boys humour. And I kind of thought, no, I can't be doing with it. But it's not, I shouldn't be saying anything because it's not me talking about it. It's not,
that's completely fair.
But yeah, that's kind of, I have a big issue with it, and it's why I don't want to see it, really. I kind of feel like I don't want to support a film like this. I feel like in a year where we've had Wonder Woman, I don't feel like we need a film like this, if that makes sense. But, maybe I'm a bit old. I'm like an old lady, like, oh no, I can't be doing with any of that. Ooh.
Yeah, I watched it Monday after EGX, so it was kind of the vibe I was going for, but like chill out, violent, kind of stupid stuff. But it continued the whole parody of the whole James Bond cliche. So the princess is still in there. You see her, and it bucks the trend with the whole misogynistic gentleman's spy, if you will, in some senses. In others, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But the main villain is really good. I was disappointed in how the villain was overcome at the end. Their motivation is quite...
It's Julianne Moore, isn't it?
Yeah, so her motivation is kind of quite fitting for our current socioeconomic and cultural situation in the world. And like everyone wants to be famous. It's like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? But there was one point I actually almost cried. And you wouldn't expect that for a Kingsman movie. It's like this one... Yeah, there's one point and something happens. It's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I love him too much. I really enjoyed it. Very silly. Following on from the first one, the violence is a lot more stylized. It feels a lot more comic booky than the first one. The opening action scene, which you see in the trailers, the one with the black cab and all that one is incredibly stylistic and very CGI'd. So I wasn't fussed on that one, but the rest of them are utterly fantastic, and some of the sexiest action scenes, like, couldn't take my eyes off them. They were brilliant. And that
was what, like, why I was so disappointed with the first one at the end, because up until that point, like you say, the action had been amazing. Like that shootout scene in the church I thought awesome, incredible. And up until that point, it had been like one of the most refreshing action films for ages, and I was like, this is great. And then they just soured the whole thing, and I was like, nah, I don't even want to watch it ever again. So it's kind of, but that's cool. I mean, I know a lot of people other people have really enjoyed it, so it definitely seems to be quite divisive. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, definitely.
The end of this movie is kind of the complete opposite of the end of the first one, without giving it away.
Right.
If you want to know, I'll tell you after the show. But I really enjoyed it.
Don't tell me.
I really, really enjoyed it. Speaking of movies,
cool.
I've managed to go to a couple of screenings since I've been away at Warner Brothers house in London.
Nice.
So I have been to see The Matrix on the big screen and The Goonies. I went on Wednesday this week. This is to mark Warner Brothers re-releasing 40 of its most iconic movies in brand new packaging on DVD and Blu-ray in a series they're calling Iconic Moments. If you have Amazon Prime or Amazon TV, Amazon Video, whatever they bloody call it, if you see any of the movies on there, they've got brand new cases, and this to coincide with all of this.
This is the one where they've got like a quote on the front cover, right?
Is.
So they have like the 7 one has a picture of a box and it says what's in the box.
I've got about 6 here that I can give you the quotes from because they gave me a bunch.
Oh, nice.
We have, to name a few, Gone with the Wind, Ben-Hur, Nightmare on Elm Street, Lost Boys, Lord of the Ring.
We should play a game and see if we can guess which quotes they've picked without looking at the internet.
I'll do it for the 6 I have then, because I've just got a list of them. We've got True Romance, Dirty Harry, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Gremlins, Goonies, to name a few. We're going to start off with the one I saw this week, and you should bloody know it. The Goonies. What's on the cover?
Is it a picture of the treasure map?
No. I took a picture with it this week.
It's a Baby Ruth bar.
I was just eating that.
Oh.
It's the treasure chest. What's the quote? Hey,
I don't know.
guys.
Is it?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
okay,
of course.
So,
yeah.
Next one is Mars Attacks.
Oh, is it just
It is ack. Quoted by the Martian ambassador, and it's got a picture of an alien brain. Next one is Point Break.
Oh, yeah. That. What could that be? Is that could be one of the dead president's masks or a surfboard?
What's the quote?
Yeah. I don't know.
100% pure adrenaline by Bodhi.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Next one is The Matrix.
Something about blue pill, red pill?
Yeah, red and blue pill.
Something slightly more iconic, and it goes with the image on the box.
Is it a white rabbit?
Nope. Give up.
Is it a spoon?
That would have been good.
Okay, then I'm
lost. It is a bullet, and it's Dodge This.
You know what?
Okay.
I would rather prefer the pill. This is just too cheesy.
The bullet's a little bit.
It would have been better with a spoon.
Yeah, I think the red and blue pill would have been better. Yeah, a spoon would have been awesome, especially if it was bent, like a bent spoon. There is no spoon.
Gravity.
Is it just Sandra Bullock screaming?
No. Is that the actual cover? No.
Fun fact, I've seen that movie on a tiny screen on the plane, which is like the worst way to watch that movie ever.
I've never seen it.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, it's awesome, and it's not too much of a spoiler to say that Sandra Bullock is so annoying in that film that George Clooney would rather jettison himself off into space.
And that's you trying to sell it to me. Yep. All right, what's on the cover?
It's awesome. It's such a good film.
Earth or something? I don't know. Space?
It is a astronaut falling backwards into space from a sideways view. And what is the quote?
Don't know.
I don't know, something about being alone in space or something.
You have to let me go by Matt Kowalski. And finally, and this one I love because I rewatched What We Do in the Shadows the other day. Okay, so
nice.
The Lost Boys.
Oh, this one. I bet it's noodles or Chinese food, and it says it's only noodles or something like that.
So it's a Chinese food container with chopsticks and something next to it, and you're along the right lines.
It's only noodles, Michael. They're only noodles.
Maggots, Michael. You're eating maggots.
You're eating maggots.
I just scared you.
Nice.
You're eating worms. Okay, right. Since I am back on the podcast, I'm giving you, lovely listeners, the chance to win all 6 of those titles. So that is Matrix. That is, I can't remember what I did. Matrix, Goonies, Gravity, Lost Boys, Point Break, and there was another one. I can't remember.
Can't remember.
Gravity?
No, said
Mars
that one.
Attacks.
Oh yeah!
And I'm giving that one up. It's like, I love that film. That film's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
To win that, you have to recreate one of the iconic scenes from that movie, or give me a little story, tell me why that's your favourite movie, and your favourite quote. So either a picture of you recreating a scene, or why it's your favourite movie, and a quote. How's that for you?
That's cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing all the Point Break interpretations.
I would actually prefer some Mars Attacks ones, if you want to get in my good books.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Hey, I want pictures of people wearing some dope sunglasses and in black leather, please.
That's my Friday night. That's too easy.
Well, it's your Friday night. Some of us are poor students and need a little bit of excitement.
Yeah, that's why I sit in my room in black leather wearing sunglasses.
Nice.
Okay, so answer on postcard. No, don't do that. Either tweet at Big Red Barrel, use the hashtag GeekSpeak, or do it on the forums. You can do it on Facebook, and we'll go through all the socials in a moment. Right, so let's do some shout-outs. Joe, do you want to do forums?
Sure. So, on the forums, I'd like to say a big hello to Richard Kirk. It's not Bleezy. Is it actually secretly Bleezy?
It's totally Bleezy.
But it's totally Bleezy. Stingo, Stealthy Joe, and the aforementioned Frozen454.
And on Twitter, big thank you to Will Driver, Gabriel Romo, and Rob Evans.
So if you would like to get in contact, you can do so by going to bigredbarrel.com and post it on the forums. You can do so by going to twitter.com at bigredbarrel and use the hashtag GeekSpeak. You can use our personal Twitters. I am at the Sweet Shrimp.
I'm a Dusted Tulip _.
I'm at Pixel Ritual.
You can also go to Facebook, facebook.com/bigredbarrel. Leave us a little quote there. We also had gamer nights on there where you can talk to some lovely people and play some lovely games. You can also go to YouTube, youtube.com/bigredbarrel, because we post them every week and you can, kind of watch it. It's there. And leave a comment there. You can also go to iTunes, give us 5 stars or whatever you think we deserve with some comments. You can also head over to Loading Bar Scenario up in Dalston. Every Tuesday we have Tabletop Tuesday, where we have a new featured game every week. You could win that game just by playing it and telling him you did. Your name gets put into a prize draw and you can win it by 10:30 that evening. If you'd like to know anything more about that, go to bigredbarrel.com. Front page, top left hand corner, there is a static post with everything you need to know. Also, you need to bloody watch Cookies and Booze, because that is amazing. It's every Sunday.
Yes.
We're currently playing Last Day of June, so...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, our first episode where we got through half of the game is already done. It should be up. You can either watch it as VOD through our Twitch, or it'll be soon up on YouTube. And this Sunday, which the date of which I will quickly look, the 1st of October, we're gonna finish the game. And yeah, at some point, we're gonna come up with plans for Extra Life, which both Julie and me are gonna be doing this year.
Oh yeah, that's not far away, is it? Yeah, crikey.
Is it MCM weekend again?
No, it's not. It's not. It's or before, because I know that because Diarmuid is doing it and he was suggesting something else for that weekend, so I think...
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's that weekend.
Yeah. Okay, so it's somewhere there, but don't worry. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a whole team Big Red Barrel doing all sorts of stuff for Extra Life, including the famous now Destiny Reigns. And I can actually maybe participate with them this year, because I've actually been playing Destiny.
Destiny or Destiny 2?
Destiny 2. Potato. It's the same thing, pretty much. One is slightly newer. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of information coming up, so keep your eyes peeled on the website and on the socials, and as soon as I figure out what we're actually doing for Extra Life on Cookies and Booze, I will put it up online for everyone to see.
As Alex was mentioning, we have the Big Red Barrel Destiny clan. We need to give a big shout out to Whoop Whoop! Yeah, that's it. I also going to... I don't know.
Sorry. I love
awesome.
that. I love that.
What? What'd I do?
It's just great.
It's great. You did everything fine. Keep going.
And I'm going to plug my thing once again. At Indies Unplayed on Twitter. Go check it out. We're going to be announcing the games that are going to be in the showcase. It is the 29th of October, the Sunday of MCM Comic Con at A Secret Weapon in Stratford. Free tickets, just come along, play some absolutely epic indie games, and come have a drink with me. Okay, so for episode 107 of Big Red Barrel Geek Speak, I have been Lauren.
I've been Butts.
I've been Joe.
And we bid you goodbye. Bye.
Bye. Butts.
You and your ears are quite welcome
for the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarrel.com
for more podcasts,
news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarrel.com.